Marinaro, the Sick Podcast on this Friday night. Hope you're all doing well. The Montreal Canadiens last night, as everyone knows by now, of course, they let a 3-2 lead evaporate with 67 seconds left in period number 3. And it was Timo Meier who tied up the game, and then the game went to overtime. And Jesper Brett scored the game-winning goal for the New Jersey Devils on an Alex Newhook giveaway. It's funny the way hockey is sometimes. It was last week on Saturday night that Drake Batherson gave away the puck right to Alex Newhook, who broke away and scored the game winner in overtime. And then a couple of games later, it's Alex Newhook who gives away the puck, a game in New Jersey, and Jesper Brett breaks away, and he fakes forehand, goes backhand, and beats Jakub Dobes 5-hole. The Montreal Canadiens goaltender, of course, was very, very hard on himself and very emotional after the game. We've seen the video, we've seen the photos, we've seen the images, and there's a lot to talk about. The Montreal Canadiens were off today. It was a day off as they look to regroup and get ready for the Utah Mammoth, who will visit the Canadiens tomorrow night at the Bell Center. And we're going to discuss it all. There's so much to talk about, from Zachary Bolduc's 9 minutes of ice time to Kirby Dach not getting a lot of ice time either, to Arbor Xhekaj being the least utilized Montreal Canadiens defenseman, from Jaden Struble taking a couple of bad penalties, from the number one line being caved in last night from the Canadiens. It's not often that we say that. It's usually them who do the caving in. No shortage of topics to discuss right here on the Sick Podcast. Friday night, I'm Marinaro. Brian Wilde of Global TV Montreal is coming up. He'll be my guest. Stay with us.
It's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your number one sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K, 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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur. Oh!
The the sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the fall.
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Stanley pour les Canadiens. Le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup!
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Vida Tibi. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination. It's gonna be sick.
It's the Sick Podcast. Marinaro joined in studio in beautiful Ville Saint Laurent, a couple of blocks away from the IKEA, who keeps on getting free advertising on this show because we keep on telling everyone where we are. We're going to stop doing that, by the way. And if I'm going to do it, they can at least bring over a table or something or some kind of cabinet, whatever, something. But anyway, long story short, Brian Wilde lives a hop, skip, and a jump away from here. And so he joins me, as he has on a couple of occasions already, on Fridays. How you doing, bud?
Very good.
Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you.
I got to Montreal in 1995 and have lived in NDG ever since.
1995, which month?
September.
September.
Just before the referendum.
I was going to say just before Patrick Waugh got up and turned around and looked at Ron Corey and said, "This is my last game in Montreal."
That was my first major
which
story.
happened on December 2nd.
Yep.
So we are, we're November 7th. So in about 3.5 weeks' time, we'll mark the 30-year anniversary of that famous game.
I was at the airport for that story, and it was my first, I think it was the airport. It was some hotel room that it happened in at some point. I'm a little vague, but whether it was him
talking about the
getting
press
traded and left or whether it was the press conference, but I was absolutely shocked, Tony, at how many people were at that thing. That was like small town boy from Edmonton. And then I went, holy shit, there's a lot of media here in Montreal.
We're going to, like I said in the intro, we're going to talk about the Canadiens and Jakub Dobes. The emotions getting the better of him after the game. We'll get to that. As a matter of fact, Sammy and Yellow Master Control with Alexis Lavoie-Martel. We have a clip that we're going to get to in about a minute, which was Anthony Martineau of TVA Sports actually talking to Jakub Dobes in the locker room. But before we do, I'm intrigued now. You've heard about the Mike Vernon and Patrick Waugh story, right?
No, I have not.
You have not?
No, I have not heard of that story.
You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Mike Vernon has told the story on many occasions. As a matter of fact, I think he told the story even probably going back about 10 years ago to Marc-Antoine Godin, who wrote an article about it. I think he went on Spitting Chicklets podcast. He told the story. His story's always been the same story. Next to the old Montreal Forum, there was a Moe's Diner next to Lambert Kloss in Atwater. Mike Vernon says that on the morning of December 2nd, he makes his way into the diner to get breakfast. And Patrick Waugh is at the cash about to settle his bill. Patrick Waugh sees Mike Vernon and calls him over and tells him to go sit down next to him. Mike Vernon, of course, the goaltender for the Detroit Red Wings. Patrick Waugh, the goalie for the Montreal Canadiens back in December of 1995. And Mike Vernon says that Patrick tells him that it's just all getting to him. The media, the fans, the pressure. He's not having fun anymore. He's thinking of retiring.
Wow.
Mike Vernon says, Patrick, you can't retire. You're way too good. You're way too good for the league. The league needs you. You're a big name, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. He says, if you feel this way, get yourself traded. This is the story. And as they say, Brian, and the rest is history.
Get yourself traded. So Mike Vernon is to blame for 30 years in the wilderness.
I don't know. But what a story, though, eh? Could you imagine? And now, and everyone knows the Canadian Patrick Waugh gives up 9 goals. At the 4th goal, already the camera is going to Mario Tremblay, the then rookie head coach for the Montreal Canadiens, to see if Mario Tremblay is going to pull Patrick Waugh. Patrick at one point is actually looking over at the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
At 9, he pulls him. Patrick Roy goes to the bench, walks by Mario Tremblay, gives him a look. There's no pat on the back or anything. There's the look back. Patrick sits down, immediately gets back up, turns, walks by Mario Tremblay again, looks behind him in the first row, the president of the Montreal Canadiens, Ronald Corey, looks at him and says, Mon dernier match à Montréal. Yeah. My last game with Montreal. Ronald Corey's face looks like he just, I don't know how to explain it, but it looked like it was obviously he didn't like what he was hearing. And supposedly after that, then Patrick Roy was considering going back to the team, apologizing, saying whatever. And they said he asked for the divorce we gave him. Serge Savard joined me on the show a couple of weeks ago on the French show that I have Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. in the morning on this same YouTube channel, and said that he thought that year, because of course Serge Savard was traded 5 games into that season, fired 5 games into that season, along with Jacques Demers. And of course, the Canadiens brought in Réjean Houle as general manager, and they brought in Mario Tremblay and Yvan Cournoyer and Steve Schutt as a coaching staff. Serge Savard has said already, and he said it in his book, he said in various interviews, including the one I had with him a couple of weeks ago, that he thought that Patrick's status, he had got too big for the team, and he had decided that he was going to trade Patrick that season. As a matter of fact, he had a trade on the table that he was about to pull the trigger on that was going to send Patrick Roy to the Quebec Nordiques in return for Stéphane Fizet and Owen Nolan. And Pierre Lacroix, who was the general manager of the Colorado Avalanche at the time, who was Patrick Roy's former agent, who then handed things off to Robert Sauvé to take care of the firm when he became the general manager of the Colorado Avalanche, called Serge Savard, and Serge Savard said, I'm not in charge anymore, so if you want to make this trade, call Réjean Houle because he's taken over. That's it. That's something.
It's 30 years later, pretty iconic moment even now in Montreal sports history.
A very iconic moment.
Yeah, it's it's like in Habs history, off the ice.
Yeah.
Top 3. I mean, not obviously on the ice. I mean, the Cups will always be the forefront. But as far as stories that weren't on the ice stories, everything around Patrick Roy and the way he got traded and everything, like that is such a major story. It's incredible.
Speaking of off the ice, you said top 3. What are the other 2?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking in terms of, could there be something bigger than that? I'm not even sure there is anything off the ice. In terms of
controversies you're talking about?
Well, I would say number 1 would be the Richard riots, now that I start thinking about it.
The Richard riot would have to be number 1.
Right. And we all know the backstory of that very quickly.
It's not controversy, but Guy Lafleur's,
you know what I mean.
Guy Lafleur's car accident back in the day made a lot of headlines, right?
Guy Carbonneau.
The pole went right through his
Guy Carbonneau with the finger on the golf course would be top 5.
To a journalist of the Journal de Montréal, later traded to the St. Louis Blues for Jim Montgomery, their coach now. Yeah.
So that's 4 good ones, right? How would you order those? I would say the Richard riots. I mean, if everybody's rioting on the streets, it's hard to beat. That would be number 1.
Didn't Shane Corson get into a scrap with a player from the Alouettes? Downtown
That's
Montreal,
not even top 10. Shane Corson got in a scrap every 3 weeks. Shane Corson saved me from getting the shit beat out of me once in Hartford, Connecticut.
Really?
Yeah, very quick story, obviously, because we want to talk about last night.
So I love these stories.
I know, but I'll make it rapid. Okay, so I'm dancing in Hartford at a nightclub, and I don't know why, but I got under the skin of somebody, and maybe I stepped on their heel. Maybe I was too exuberant. Maybe my hands moved too much. I'm not sure. But he grabs me, and he says, we're going outside where I'm going to beat the crap out of you. And I was like, he was bigger than me, and I've never thrown a punch in my entire life, Tony, so this was going to end badly for me, right? So I got this look on my face like I'm petrified. And we're on the way out. I'm like only 40 seconds from getting absolutely annihilated to the pavement in Hartford, Connecticut. And just as we're about to head outside, and the guy's like doing this, Shane comes up. He says, what's going on here? I said, of course, this guy's about to beat the crap out of me. And Corson says, no, you're not. And he looks at him, he says, you'll go through me first. Are you ready? And the guy says, no, it's fine. Forget it. It's okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was my buddy for life, obviously. I had a hard time criticizing Corson for the rest of my career because he saved my face.
I love Shane Corson, man.
He was stand up to me. He wasn't always stand up to everyone, but he was certainly stand up to me.
I always loved Shane Corson.
Yeah,
I
me
always
too.
thought he was I always thought he was like really cool back then.
And I had him in Edmonton and Montreal.
Really cool today, and he was a good hockey player.
Yeah.
He was a good hockey player.
Yeah, and a great teammate too, eh?
Yeah.
Like you talk about what it means to win championships, and you got to have great teammates. Like you got to have guys that support you, stand up for you, make sure you feel strong and tall. Like Corson had a way of making everyone feel tall. Yeah, including me in Hartford, Connecticut.
He had quite a tilt with Ty Domi in Toronto in front of family and friends. Remember that one?
Well, cousins, right?
Yeah. He did well versus Ty Domi.
Yeah.
He did well.
Yeah. Well, he could fight.
He knocked him down with one punch.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if Ty Domi lost a little bit of balance there or whatever, but it's not often that people give Ty Domi a punch and he goes down.
No, he had
Ty Domi had a real low, an incredible chin and a low center of gravity. Like for me, Ty Domi, pound for pound, I think
he's the best fighter in NHL history, pound for pound.
Pound for pound, I think you can make an argument that he's the best fighter in NHL history.
Pound for pound, for sure. Yeah. You know, like I don't know how we do against heavyweights, but he was not a heavyweight. Yeah. And he was pound for pound the best, not because he could throw it, best, because of his chin.
The pound for pound, the most exciting and the most courageous, PJ Stock.
Yeah. Yeah. PJ
pound
was
for
good
pound,
too.
The best, Ty Domi, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of his chin.
Anyway,
like you could hit him so hard it wouldn't matter. You just keep coming at you.
That's an awesome Shane Corson story. All right, okay. Brian Wilde is brought to you by Fruiterie de l'Art, a family-run business, a mainstay in the LaSalle community since 1995. Proud to continue offering the same fresh foods and flavors that they have for the past 30 years, from fresh fruits and produce delivered daily to an ever-expanding assortment of deli meats, cheeses, and sandwiches. You'll find personalized service and friendly faces that make you feel like family. Did you catch what was just said in that endorsement? I think it's pretty significant.
Go ahead.
When did you arrive here?
95.
Yeah, they opened up in 1995 in Villa South. So I think that's pretty cool that they are the sponsor for Brian Wilde. By the way, we got a great contest going on, folks. A really, really great contest. I think everyone knows by now you got to change your winter tires before December 1st. Well, Point S and GT Radial are offering you the chance to win a new set of GT Radial winter tires, plus free installation at a Point S garage, a total value of $1,000. In order to participate, listen carefully, please. Go to the Instagram page of the Sick Podcast and go to the Instagram page of Point S. Comment on the pinned post. Follow both the Sick Podcast and Point S on Instagram. The contest ends on November 16. Point S, your trusted garage for complete vehicle care. We have that clip of Jakub Dobes moments after the Canadiens lost last night in New Jersey by a score of 4-3 in overtime with members of the media. Let's take a look, Brian.
Lose to those guys in OT, so just disappointed in myself. Just pretty much it.
You take it personally?
Team battle back there, though. I mean,
no, they play great. Just on my side, I need to be better. So.
Well, you won six straight games to start the season. I mean,
that's Mike Morelli, isn't it?
Through a season unbeaten.
No, I mean,
and this is one you'll bounce back from, correct?
Yeah, obviously, but not good enough. 6-0 is not good enough. Really wanted. I'm good.
I'm good. There you have it. He obviously wasn't good. Nick Martin, who asked him the question, you take it personally, and then there's another follow-up question, and then Mike Morreale is actually trying to console Jakub Dobes, saying, you're 6-0 going into the game. Basically, don't be too hard on yourself, pal. Mike Morreale actually tweeted about it last night at the end of the game. Said, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Like, I was actually in the locker room consoling a player at the end of the game.
I've never seen a reporter think maybe it's time to give the guy a hug.
Brian, listen, I watched that last night when I thought it was really, really tough to watch. I felt terrible, absolutely terrible for him. On one hand, obviously, it shows, how much this guy cares. And if anything, the positive that can come out of this is that, and I think there's a lot of positives, because I don't think there's no harm in showing your emotions. Some people do, some people don't. That's okay. Some need it to come out, and some can actually keep it in. You're going to be a lot better with this than I am. But I thought that was very, very tough to watch last night. And once again, I felt really terrible for Jakub Dobes, who I thought just put way too much pressure on himself for game 14 of a regular season in which, they lost, and maybe he could have made another stop or two. And you could take a look at goal number 1, maybe take a look at the tying goal. But by no means do I think he was terrible. By no means do I think he's the number one reason why the Canadiens lost that game. But clearly he did. He talked about losing a game in New Jersey last year in overtime. He talked about the fact that 6-0 is not good enough. We had quite the discussion earlier this morning on my French show with Eric Oziel and Arnaud Gascon-Nadon. Arnaud basically said that like there's red flags for him seeing that. He doesn't think that he should have been brought out. He thinks that people should have realized what state that he was in before he was going to talk. I spoke with Anthony Martineau, and I'll finish it here. He told us that there's a WhatsApp chat. He requested to speak to Jakub Dobes when there was probably 7-8 minutes left in the game because the Canadiens were winning the game. Dobes was a good story. Again, looked like he was going to probably go unbeaten, maybe less time than that in the game. And then they end up losing it. And so obviously still on that list. Communications department, they go see him. They say, you've been requested. Do you want to come out? He says, fine, I'll come out. Then you saw what happened now. We're also told by Anthony that his teammates, Dach was there, Newhook was there, Noah Dobson was there. They went over, they gave him a support, they gave him a hug. Hey, bud, it's okay. They gave him the tap of the back. It's going to be okay. We also heard later on that Chantal Machabée sat down next to him and was trying to console him as well. Your thoughts?
Well, there's a lot there. My first thought when I saw all of that was, this is way too much emotion for early in November. Like, if you want to carry the mantle for this team as the number one goalie, or even be an NHL goalie at all, as time passes, it cannot be that emotional for you. It simply cannot. The burden is too strong. Psychologically, it's too much. So
you'll burn out.
You'll burn out. Exactly. If it's that impactful. Now, in his favor, the way emotions usually work is the new ones and the new moments and the new stresses, and these are all new, are the hardest ones to take. And once you start to get into the rhythms of your life, you can withstand difficult moments a little bit better. It's early in the process, it's the hardest. So in his defense, and that's the only defense I'm going to make from him here, is that it's early in his process. So everything feels gigantic. But as the process continues, it cannot feel this gigantic for him as an NHL goalie. And then I thought this morning about...
So go ahead. You're concerned.
Oh, yeah, very much concerned. It's just not the way it's supposed to be. Like, the best athletes, the ones that climb to the top and are the greatest. Like, do you remember the Michael Jordan thing in the COVID where he was the Netflix special? And I bring this up because, I mean,
Jordan... You're talking about The Last Dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jordan was like the ultimate champion, right?
Well, yes.
Right?
Of course.
Like, everybody
6 finals, 6 MVPs.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the best, the more the moment got important. And Jordan was like...
He is the epitome of Mr. Clutch.
Exactly.
Him and Tom Brady.
And in that special, he must have said 25 times, that guy thought he was as good as me. And I took that personally. That made me angry. And that's the personality of someone who's a champion. When someone challenges them, they get mad. They get angry. And usually when you're in the room fast after a game, as I have been, they let you in 10 minutes after. You're just coming in after everybody's been throwing shit around.
Yes. That's why you wait 10 minutes, because
exactly
the grace period is to let the emotions wear off.
Right. And the emotion is not that they were crying for 10 minutes. The emotion was they've been swearing a lot, they're angry, and they're throwing stuff. Because that's the emotion that motivates an athlete, generally speaking. And that's what makes someone like Michael Jordan angry that someone would even deign to suggest you're as good as me.
The most stressful position in hockey has to be the coach of the Montreal Canadiens, the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, and the goalie of the Montreal Canadiens. Could probably make an argument that the goalie of the Montreal Canadiens probably has more stress than everyone else, or maybe even the coach, because the coach has to live it every day. The goalie of the Montreal Canadiens will only live it in the games that he's playing, probably. Carey Price got us used to
Chill.
That the moment never got to him, ever. It probably did, but we never saw it. He's always cool as a cucumber, and everyone always said he has the perfect demeanor to be the goalie of the Montreal Canadiens. Samuel Montembeault has showed us this season, with things not going his way, many examples of nervousness. Jakub Dobes showed us that last season. This year, up until last night, no. Last night, he lost his net on a couple of occasions. He looked behind him on a couple of occasions. He looked nervous last night. A lot of people are going to look at that and say, in the end, they're going to say neither has the demeanor to be the goalie of the Montreal Canadiens when they're going to be ready to take the next step.
I'll throw in Caden Primo, who was a good goalie in Laval.
Yeah.
But when the pressure got to the Montreal level, was a completely different goalie. I mean, he was .915 in Laval and .836 in Montreal. This is a tough place to play goal.
Cristobal Huet battled nerves. David Abisher battled nerves.
And McDonald's.
There's quite a few goalies that have passed here over the years. I thought Jake Allen was a little bit steadier. I thought he made it get to him less. But
one of the things that people don't,
Jose Theodore is pretty strong.
Yeah, pretty strong. One of the things that people don't, think about much is there are two types of anxieties in sports. Hockey, generally speaking, is an anxiety-free sport, unlike tennis and golf, where in your preparation, you're thinking a lot, right? So like when you wait to swing in golf, you're over the ball, you're thinking about it, you're concentrating, and it's a time where
it's all on you, right? Other sports, a team sports, you can rely on your teammates.
No, that's not what I'm getting at there, actually, Tony. It's not about whether it's a team sport or an individual sport, because the Ryder Cup as a team sport would be, very stressful too. It's that your mind is busy before you begin concentrating on everything, and it can come into your body. Your hands can get nervous. You can feel a little bit shaky over the ball. Tennis is the same way. The preparation too has that same sort of thing. But hockey, in every position but goalie, is very much an instinctive thing. You chase, you don't think, you go. It's all very instinctive. It happens before you get to think, except goalie. Goalie, you're thinking all the time. You're standing there waiting for the puck. It's down in the other end.
And you know what you're talking about, because you play quite a bit of tennis, right? Today? You still play?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
How many times a week?
Well, not any now because it's winter, but three to five per week.
In the winter, you're not going to play indoors?
Nah, it's too expensive.
Love tennis.
Awesome.
Love tennis.
Anyway,
had to stop at one point. The migraines were just terrible.
Wow, from tennis?
Yeah, couldn't stand the racket.
Jesus. Is that why you went that deep on that one? That was a long runway. So I think Dobeš is thinking a lot, and I think like you were the one, I believe, that mentioned not too long ago that wasn't he the one who said, I don't even want to hit my stick on the ice when a penalty's over. I want that done at the bench, right?
It was Stu Cowan, I think.
Okay. So
I think it was Stu Cowan who talked about that.
There,
you know what? He's got either a sports psychologist or a mental performance coach that works with him. And,
so
he doesn't go over to the bench during breaks or whatever commercial timeouts. He stays in his area. He skates around his net. He does a lot of visualization. He does not go over to the bench at all. It was Stu Cowan a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. So the point that comes out of it is this is a very, cerebral person. Yeah. Cerebral people tend to, much more so than none, will have that anxiety in them a little bit. I think it's safe to say, watching yesterday, that Dobeš is a sensitive person, and he will continue to need to work with a sports psychologist, as he already has so far, to get where he is.
I think that's pretty apparent that
there's
some work to do there.
Yeah, and he will need to continue along that plane.
Yeah,
because that mental aspect of being an athlete, Patrick Laine will tell you the same thing, is a never-ending challenge. You have the highs and the lows. You feel like sometimes you've beaten it. from a mental health point of view, you feel like at the top, okay, I made a lot of progress. I'm starting to control my own mind. And then suddenly, halfway through a game, maybe it's New Jersey last night, you go, wow, I'm not controlling my own mind in this game. I'm feeling the mental stress that I wasn't feeling before. And who knows what makes it snap? Sometimes what makes it snaps is that you start with no expectations at all. And you've made the NHL and nobody thought you were going to. You were supposed to be behind Primo.
Yeah.
Right. And Jake Allen was there maybe when he began the organization, and you think you're never going to get there. So there's no pressure. And then suddenly you're there, and now you're the number one because the other guy's struggling, and you see the open window. And so that extra pressure can be the thing that kind of puts you over the edge in terms of how relaxed you feel about the entire process. So I hope that this is an isolated incident.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that he continues to see a sports psychologist, because if he doesn't, I want to use the word régler here, the French one. If he doesn't sort this out, it's not going to be a long career.
Speaking of Cade and Primo, you brought up moments ago, we wish them all our best because the Leafs placed them on waivers earlier today.
Oh, did they? I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to, so we'll finish off with this, but I'll say this. You wonder where he's at because once again, did the moment get to him in terms of there's a battle here for the number one spot, whether people want to downplay it or not, there's a battle. Samuel Montembeault has played 7 games thus far this season, and Jakub Dobes played his 7th. There's a battle. It's 50-50 right now. And I wonder if he thinks that maybe there was an opening with the fact that the Canadiens lost last game and Montembeault lost, even though he recovered nicely after a slow start, that if he would have got that win yesterday, he probably thought he would have been the guy on Saturday. And because they lost that game last night, he probably now thinks he's not the guy, and now he thinks he's not the number one again. Only he knows, but it's got me thinking.
I'm going to go a different direction with that one. I think it's less that and more what I'm about to say. I think he feels the immense sadness and difficulty of last night and met it showing with the media because of this. I think he felt he let his teammates down. I think he has the type of personality that all of that disappointment and heartache came from letting people down. I don't think it was internal. I think it was external.
He can think what he look, there's people that are going to say that maybe he should have put a glove on that loose puck at the end. That loose puck is a 5-on-4. The Devils have pulled their goaltender. Pardon me. It ends up being a 6-on-4 because Mike Matheson blocked a shot and he's sprawling on the ice and he can't do anything. It's a 6-on-4. Jack Hughes recognizes that Mike Matheson is laboring and is on the ice. So he puts a puck at the net. Carrier can't contain, I think, Dawson, or he's trying to contain Dawson Mercer. And Timo Meier gets to that loose puck before Matheson can't because Matheson's sprawling. Some people will say he probably should have got his glove on it before or whatever. Some people might say that he got surprised by the first shot of the hockey game by Cody Glass, and he probably should have had that. The fact of the matter is, if Dobeš thinks that he let his teammates down, I don't think he should think that, because here's the deal. The duo of Arbor Xhekaj and Alex Carrier had a ton of trouble last night. The duo of Struble and Lane Hudson was not much better. Lane Hudson was unable to dominate yesterday. The New Jersey Devils did a lot of really good things against him. The Canadiens' number one line of Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slafkovsky got absolutely caved in. If you don't believe me, just check out do we have hockey stat cards, by the way? The hockey stat cards that shows the individual offense, the team offense, the team defense, above average and all that. Do we have that by any chance? If we can, maybe let's see if we can get it. Hold on a second. We'll try and get it here. And we'll try and bring it up right now. I think I can get it over. There we go. Like before I could even send it. Look at that, Brian.
Yeah.
Noah Dobson and Mike Matheson were absolutely unbelievable last night. If you take a look at individual offense, you take a look at team offense above average, you take a look at team defense above average, you take a look at individual defense. They were dominant for the Canadiens. Hence, Mike Matheson's 27 minutes and Noah Dobson's 21 minutes.
True first pair.
You take a look at the pairing of Carrier and Xhekaj in terms of team offense above average. They were never on the offense. They never had the puck. You take a look at the team defense above average. They were below average in team defense. They were a duo that struggled. In terms of team offense above average, the duo of Hudson and Struble also struggled last night. And in terms of their team defense above average, it was simply that it was very, very average. Then you take a look at Slafkovsky, Caulfield, and Nick Suzuki, and you take a look at their team offense above average. They're usually they are the number one line for the Montreal Canadiens. They're not only the number one line for the Canadiens, more often than not, they're the number one line in the entire game. And at some points this season, they've been the number one line in the entire league. Last night, they got caved in, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, they got taken to the cleaners last night.
This chart looks upside down, except for Dobson and Matheson.
Yeah.
From the rest of the season.
So, I mean, if Dobeš is going to put it on himself last night, I would take the hockey stat card. I'd put it in front of him. I'd say, son, I think you got nothing to worry about because, your team didn't. And he went out to say that they played good enough to win.
Before you drop that, Kirby Dach.
Kirby Dach's been playing well, Brian.
That's it. That's my point.
That's his 5th good game in a row. And if you notice, by the way, you notice individual offense, you'll notice that Kirby Dach is ahead of Oliver Kapanen, who on the chart is just above him. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice that team offense above average, Kirby Dach is ahead of Oliver Kapanen. Now, they both scored a goal last night, but Kirby Dach's last 5 games have been very good, and they've been better than Oliver Kapanen's last 5 games. Brian Wilde, are we at the point tonight on this 7th of November that Kirby Dach has once again become the number 2 centerman? Let's not forget that Marty St. Louis, when asked about it in training camp, who's your number 2 centerman, said Kirby Dach. But he wasn't able to play all the preseason games. Coming back from injury, sustained an ACL injury last year in which he missed the last 25 games. ACL, MCL in the same knee twice in 2 years. You know what? Very precautious in his approach. Maybe at one point a little bit shy, this, that, whatever, all that stuff. Hesitant to go into traffic. As he finally come around, Brian, if I ask you today, right now, on this Friday, November 8th, who's the Montreal Canadiens second-line centerman, you will say he is?
I would say Kirby Dach should be given a chance to be the second-line centerman. And I would pull him if he starts to rack up the negatives in the plus-minus. Because offensively, he's a guy that last night and for the last 5 games can effectively carry the puck into the zone and win the zone.
He can.
Oliver Kapanen cannot do that. However, Oliver Kapanen has shown himself to be a better 200-foot player than Kirby Dach. I don't know what Kapanen's face-off percentage is, but it's got to be better than the 38 that Dach puts in regularly. So that would be a factor as well, especially in the defensive zone. Right now, it's pretty close, but I would go advantage Dach because I want to see his ceiling. They traded for him because they felt he had a second-line ceiling, and he's playing great hockey right now. He's going into the dirty areas. He's winning pucks. He's finding himself in front of the net. Now, somebody might say, oh, last night's game, his goal was, it bounced off him. But you don't get that unless you're standing where he was standing.
Yeah.
It happens because you're being a pain in front of the net. So.
You ready for the face-off numbers?
They're both lousy, right?
No.
What's happening?
Thus far this season, well, let's keep that chart up here for a second, okay? But that's last night, okay?
11:37.
Last night, Kirby Dach was 5 wins, 0 losses, 100%.
Holy moly.
Oliver Kapanen won 3 or 4 for 75%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They were the 2 best Canadians in the faceoff circle last night. We're not going to take a look at Zachary Bolduc winning 1 faceoff out of 1 and going 100%. I mean, you need to take 4, 5 at least, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the season, Owen Beck, who played a couple of games with the Canadiens, very small sample size, 58.3, very good numbers. Jake Evans, 57.4. Oliver Kapanen, 54.6.
Okay, there you go.
Nick Suzuki, 52.2. Joe Veleno, 51.2. Kirby Dach, 45.2.
That's good for Kirby Dach, 45.
It's about his career average.
No. Check his career. It's lower than that.
You think
yeah. His career average is lower than 45. He's put in 38s 40, 41.
Mhm.
45 is a pretty good number. That's an improvement for him. So, that's his weakest area. And, last year we got to ask ourselves why he hit that minus 29, right? So that minus 29 in the 53 games he played or whatever it was, that's the big number. And with the center responsibilities and playing against better line mates, it's going to be more challenging. Like Oliver Kapanen.
So you're right. He's at 36.6%.
Is his career, right?
Kirby Dach for his career. So
yeah,
his
that's
first
a pretty
season,
bad number.
his first season in the career was first season in his career was 33.8. Second season was 40.3, then 32.8, then 38.3, then 37.5. Last year 40.3. This year 45.2.
So way higher.
It's 36.6. But this season is by about 5% his best face-off.
And they brought in a
percentage of
guy
his career.
special. I forget who it was right now.
Mark Bureau.
Right?
Yeah.
They brought in a guy special to try to teach him how to be better at that. And
Yeah.
Mark Bureau is responsible, it looks like, for about 6 percentage points right now, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, if you start with the puck, it's going to be a lot easier than not starting with the puck. We saw that in overtime where the first unit didn't even touch it for the 55 seconds.
Because
they
the
were
Canadiens started the overtime with Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, and Lane Hudson.
and didn't win the faceoff.
And the New Jersey Devils started with?
I got to imagine Jack Hughes.
No, he was not. He didn't
Oh,
start.
yeah. Hughes was on the second because he took advantage of the fact that he had the tired Hudson. Yeah.
It was Luke Hughes on defense.
Uh-huh.
But the guy who took the draw
Was.
Nico Hischier.
Ah,
And the guy next to him is another guy who takes draws, Dawson Mercer.
right. So they
who
make sure
has
they won
played
the
center
draw.
and wing this season.
Mhm.
They won the draw.
Are you
They-
suggesting Jake Evans should be the first guy out?
Yeah. The smartest thing to do,
Win the draw, get
the
him off the
coaching thing
ice.
to do is what they used to do last year. They used to win the draw with Dvorak. The second they would win the draw, the Dvorak would go
Get him
back
off
to the bench.
ice. Yeah.
When you lose the face-off, then you have Dvorak chasing. But then again, I need you to think about this, okay?
I will do that.
Let's say you have Jake Evans. You put him out there. He wins the face-off. He goes to the bench. Caulfield comes on. Fantastic, right? Right?
Yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Let's say he loses the draw. Okay. And you'd have to go by the assumption that anyone would have lost the draw because Jake Evans is their best face-off guy. So if you're going to lose with Evans, chances are you're going to lose with somebody else too. Okay. You got to put that in your head. You're going with the law of averages here, right?
Yep.
If you're going to lose the draw and you're not going to have the puck, you're better off having Jake Evans on the ice without having the puck than having Caulfield on the ice without having the puck.
That too.
So I think the smart thing to do, a lot of fans might not like it. And I know by the way that they've won games with having the players that they have had on the ice in the overtime is putting your best face-off guy out there to actually win the draw. That's what the Devils did, and then the Devils ended up winning the game. Now, did the Devils win the game because they won the draw? No. They won the game because Alex Newhook gave away the puck.
Hold it though.
Yeah.
Maybe they kind of did.
Because the Canadiens didn't score because the Canadiens didn't have the puck.
That's
correct.
And because their best players were out there for a minute 20.
Yeah.
And they never touched the puck.
Yeah.
So now your second best players are
Yes.
out there for the next round.
Yeah.
And then the next round's the third one.
Sixth sense of humor hockey, eh? A
Yeah.
couple of days ago, it was Drake Batherson giving away the puck to Alex Newhook. He scores the game-winning goal. And a couple of days later, it's Alex Newhook giving away the puck to Jesper Brett, and he's the one who scores the goal.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's the smartest because you're only talking about 4 percentage points between Evans and Suzuki. It's not
Yeah.
a giant number. I mean, obviously, if it's Evans versus Dach, it's a pretty easy decision. But this all started with, does Dach deserve the second line center chance? And the answer is yes. Just at least a chance, just
yeah.
to look at it, see if he can play a 200-foot game
Yeah.
at center with harder matchups. Because don't forget, Kapanen's facing harder matchups, right?
Yes, he is.
So you got to give him credit for that.
Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, a leading asset-light 3PL that's driven to be different from cross-border freight between Canada, USA, and Mexico to coast shipping in both Canada and the United States. Energy moves it all. They're fast, reliable, powered by tech that delivers smarter logistics and a real partner in transportation. Contact the team at sick@shipenergy.com and see how Energy Transportation Group is changing the freight game. Poker Playground. You haven't really played poker until you've played at Playground. Voted Fan Choice Best Poker Room at the 2025 Global Poker Awards. Enjoy free drinks at every table, free food at all cash games, and daily tournaments, plus the biggest events in the game like the World Poker Tour and the World Series of Poker Circuit. Don't miss your shot at the world record Bad Beat jackpot, now closing in at $1 million. Just minutes from downtown Montreal across the Mercier Bridge. This is Playground. All right, okay. Marinaro also telling you that if you want to get on the action tomorrow between the Montreal Canadiens and the Utah Mammoth, go all the way with Betway, get a deposit matchup bonus up to $300 on your first deposit. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section, create an account, redeem your welcome offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. Offers not available in Ontario. Must be 18 years of age and older. Speaking of our sponsors, Tibi, they launched their Ultra Lager. It's a refreshing, thirst-quenching beer, perfect for those cool fall days with only 90 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 4% ABV per can, available in a pack of 6 and 12 in grocery stores all around the province of Quebec. It's ultra light and ultra refreshing. We brought up before the stats where we showed the face-off percentages. I'd like to bring back up that event summary one more time so we can see ice time for certain players. All right, what do you see in terms of ice time?
Well, there was a theory that Mike Matheson would drop minutes. He's not.
No.
And there's a reason for that.
There was also a theory that Zachary Bolduc would have minutes.
Matheson and Dobson are a true number one pair. Dobson, I think, was the best player on the ice for the Canadiens yesterday.
I'll agree with that.
2 assists, +3. That's a pretty good night on a night your team wasn't very good.
Yeah.
There are some numbers that are a little bit low that are surprising. Demidov at 10 is low, and I'd criticize the head coach except for this.
He took a shot, went back to the locker room.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, like when he's low, it's okay. I mean, the guy is really performing well. He's almost a point per game. What did we expect? These are the first games of an NHL career.
Yeah. And by the way, this is going to be a season where it's going to be there's going to be a lot of games in December. Mm-hmm. We also know like there's going to be a lot of back-to-backs this season. You still don't know how Demidov is going to be able to react.
He played 49 last year.
What I don't understand, and I brought it up last night on the post-game show, is, for example, and I don't want to, everyone loves Joe Veleno. Good guy. Happy he's here. Hope he stays here a long time. But I think you got to go with the guys that are going. All right. And I think
with a minute and a half left, you mean?
I'm saying for the whole game, like Kirby Dach was going more than Veleno. There's not a big difference. And it's a minute and 7, but I don't know if I would tell you before the game that, Zachary Bolduc was going to play 9:11. Kirby Dach was going to play 11:37. Ivan Demidov was going to play 10:27. I mean,
what do you think happened there? You think the head coach got into a defensive mindset?
I'll tell you what I think happened.
Okay.
I think the players got the least amount of ice time are the players that Marty St. Louis trusts the least without the puck.
Yes.
And they went up against a really good team last night.
Yes. That
plays really good hockey. And if you don't play good without the puck and make good decisions, you're going to lose the game. And I think the coach, I think he went with more defensively responsible players. And in Demidov's case, it's not that I don't think he thinks he's a good defensive player, but I think that he thinks his defensive work needs game because he's still a young player in the league and he's got a lot to learn.
Absolutely. And I'll add, based on your theory, a trust without the puck, with 11:37 for Kirby Dach, are we maybe selling him as a second line center more than Martin St. Louis is?
Well, Oliver Kapanen only got 12-11.
So he didn't really like either of them.
Yeah.
So who's his second line center then?
Right now, I think he thinks he's got.
Where's Evans? What is Evans' number?
Oh, Evans got more.
1801.
It was a defensive game. Well, it was a defensive game. There were a lot of goals, but he trusts him more defensively.
Exactly.
I think, look, I don't want to talk for Marty St. Louis, but based on the ice time and based on some of the things that I see, I think he believes that Kirby Dach and Oliver Kapanen at this stage of the season right now, 14 games in, because everyone's learning curve, obviously, and development is different, are both third line players.
Yeah.
I think he believes
Sidney Crosby would have got 25 minutes last night. Just to throw a monkey wrench into the conversation.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah,
this to me looks like he was looking for a second line center all night, doesn't it? Kapanen low.
Look, we talked about
low, and the fourth line center with the second most minutes.
We talked about their games where they're really going to miss a second line center,
and this was one of them.
When you play versus a really good team, you end up missing a second line center.
Who is great down the middle, right? You've got Hughes, Heischer, right? Yeah.
Dawson Mercer played wing last night only because Cody Glass drew in. But if Glass wasn't playing because he had been a healthy scratch before that, Mercer would have been your third line centerman. So they're very, very deep down the middle.
That's something to watch for, eh?
Listen, they are the youngest team in the National Hockey League. Some will say that they're playing a little bit over their heads. Some will say that their record's a little bit flawed because you won't play 3-on-3 hockey in the playoffs and you play it in the regular season. It is what it is. They're an exciting team to watch. It was a tough game to lose. It was not the most exciting game, but the Canadiens still make it exciting because they got quick strike offense, the Canadiens. They didn't have a lot of shots on goal last night, but they're the type of team that they don't have a lot of shots. And if they take 3 shots, they could actually score 4 goals. They're that good.
Yeah, and the power play too.
You heard that one. If they take 3, they could score 4.
Yeah,
all right? Which doesn't make
Trump
sense.
When he gets a hole in one, it's a 0 on the scorecard.
That's exactly it. But all right, okay. So
may I add one thought there?
Yeah.
And they're just getting started.
Yeah.
You know, like people might be frustrated last night in terms of the loss and the result, and that, you know, they only have 4 regulation wins and 5 have been in overtime and things like that. But they're just getting started. They have 4 grade A prospects that are going to join this roster, including one that could be a superstar.
What do you expect to see tomorrow night versus the Utah Mammoth? It was an off day for the Canadiens earlier today. They did not practice, of course.
I think it's going to be wide open tomorrow. I think it's going to be one of the higher scoring games of the year.
They both can fly.
Yep.
And you would think so. But, and they're going to try and protect their goalie, though, the Canadiens.
You think so, huh?
I think they're going back to Montembeault tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to try and protect them as much as possible. Now, there was a total of 7 goals last night. There was a total of 7 goals the game before. There was a total of 7 goals the game before. And the game in Vancouver was it 4-2 or 4-3? I think there was a total of 6 or 7 that game too. They're conceding a lot of goals. I think they're going to want to bring it down. But yeah, until you actually fix the problem, it still remains a problem.
They're conceding a lot of goals, but let's not forget that in some of those instances, the goalie was turning in 840 as a save percentage, and they only allowed 22 shots. So from a defensive posture, they're conceding more goals than they should be because the goaltending hasn't been sparkling.
Correct. Because, yes, statistically speaking, they should be making more saves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And even Dobeš yesterday put in a goals expected minus 1.65, which is a big, big number. So the analytics, depending on like where the shots were from and the speed that was on those shots, the analytics of it was he had a terrible game. Negative 1.65 is a big number that you should have saved more than you did.
You should have saved more. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Which means that you probably make an argument that, you know, the analytics probably think that the first goal and the fourth and the third goal
you are correct,
probably should have been stopped.
That's what the analytics are saying. The first goal, he lost the net.
Yeah.
And the third, they would have figured that with the puck coming at him at that speed, miles per hour, that should have been
blocked,
seized,
gloved,
either sent to the corner or covered.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the way those work. They just look at the percentages of everything.
Brian, thank you for coming in once again. Our new studio here in Ville Saint Laurent. I know you like it here, and I know
Love it.
You know, we like having you here. So once again, Brian Wilde, Global TV Montreal. Follow him on social media. Of course, I think he's still on Application X where he puts his Call of the Wild. But for the most part, Blue Sky. You'll find them there on Blue Sky. And of course, he follow his stories of Call of the Wild after Montreal Canadiens hockey games. And you can also see him on Global TV Montreal on Friday mornings, correct?
That's correct.
There you have it. All right. We got it done. You're going to be at the game tomorrow night?
No, I'm not going on the weekend. I'm going to go on the weekdays because I help you out.
Okay.
But I'm just going to watch it from home tomorrow.
Relax.
Just take it easy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay
no
home.
No Metro either,
easy.
So it makes it hard for me.
I think I'm going to stay home and take it easy as well tomorrow night.
We need to every once in a while, right?
Yeah. It's always fun. All right, okay. Brian Wilde, thank you very much for Alexis Lavoie Martel at Master Control and the Cavallaro family. Special thanks to all of our sponsors, starting with Fruiterie Dillard, who bring you Brian Wilde, of course, on the Sick Podcast. Point S and GT Radio and Sick Podcast. There's a big contest going on. Check out our socials. Check out Instagram. Follow the Sick Podcast and follow Point S for a chance to win 4 brand new, a set of GT Radial winter tires plus free installation, a total value of about $1,000. The contest will end on the 16th of November. Special thanks to Betway as well as Bittt Tibi. Playground as well, and Energy Transportation Group. And special thanks to all of you for watching and supporting the Sick Podcast on the same YouTube channel. Of course, you also have our French podcast, our French show, which goes Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. And the Sick Podcast in English, Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the hockey game tomorrow night, and we'll be back Monday morning and then Monday night. Ciao for now.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different. Bittt, embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination.